Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivanka, and if this is your first time stepping on my channel, then welcome, and I hope you enjoy everything I have in store for you. So this is probably the first time I've ever did an intro without makeup. So I did my eyebrows today just so I'm not on camera looking completely horrible. And today's video is my first ever challenge. I haven't done any challenges on my channel, and I've seen a lot of people do this challenge, so I decided I'm gonna give it a try. And as you can see by the title, it's the mixing all of my foundations together challenge. And the first person I saw do this, it's Laura Lee, but I don't think she's the originator of this challenge, but I did see other people do it lately, like Manny MUA. He just did it like a couple days ago, I feel like. Anyways, so unfortunately, right before this video, like almost 2-3 weeks ago, I was cleaning out my makeup drawer and just throwing out older makeup, and I threw out a lot of foundations. But I did keep, I think, like 10, but just to make this video kind of fair, I decided to go to Sephora, get some samples, and also I had some of the really small samples that come with your makeup. So the ones that I used to use before that I threw out, I decided to mix those in as well, just so there's more variety, because I feel like most of the ones I kept were dewy foundations and I wanted to give this video a fair shot. So that's why at the end of this video, or at the end of me mixing the foundations, you will see me mix in some samples as well, but they are foundations that I use a lot. They're just ones I don't have anymore. Anyway, so let me not talk anymore and let's get straight into this video, because I'm really excited what this is going to turn out like. Just to keep this video kind of fair and really give these foundations a shot, I will prep my face using my primers that I use all the time. I hate doing my eyebrows before I do my foundation, because I feel like it just gets in the way and I have to work around it, but I just didn't want to be on camera with no eyebrows looking crazy, so bear with me. It's going to be a nightmare working around these brows. Fun part, we're going to mix all the foundations together and then we will see what happens. So I'm basically just using an empty lotion container. You can use anything. I just decided this would be easiest because it's pretty big. And these are all my foundations. So there's 15 foundations that I'm going to be using. So let's get straight into this experiment. All of the names of the foundations that I used in this video will be in the description box. I just wanted this part to be pretty fast, so I didn't want to be including the names here, but they will be in the description if you are wondering. I just cleaned out my makeup. A lot of the foundations that I had, I threw out, but I did find samples of the ones that I did have before. So I decided to add these in just so that there's more variety of different foundations. So let's do this. We have everything in here and I'm just gonna mix it all. A lot of chunky foundations in here. There's actually a lot in here and I feel like there's still kind of chunks in here, but we're just gonna have to work with what we got. So It looks like a really nice texture, but it does look a little bit darker than my skin. For all the samples, I used the shade that I normally used. However, I feel like a lot of my foundations are dark because I use, like, normally now I would use my winter foundation, but for this video I use like all my summer foundations too, so we will see how this looks. But worst case scenario, I'll just put it on my neck too, and no one will know. Okay, I guess I'll just start applying it from this brush. I can really smell the José Moran one. Like, that one has a specific smell, and all of this smells like it. Okay, we'll blend this and see if we need more. And if you watch my videos, you know I almost never use brushes anymore, so I'm going to use a wet beauty blender just to give this a fair shot. It's definitely a little darker than my skin, but not as much as I thought. But it is a very pretty color. However, it doesn't seem as full coverage as I thought it would have been. See, it's not even really covering up my pimple. I really don't know what I'm gonna do around these eyebrows. Maybe I'll use a brush. How do people do this? I like seriously need an explanation because I cannot do my foundation with my brows. I think this is enough, and I will go in with concealer and setting powder on camera just to give this foundation a fair shot, because you always set your face, you always conceal your face, so I just want to see how it works with the regular products that I use. And then I will also check in maybe in 4 hours, because usually after 4 hours I can see whether a foundation is cracking or whether it's like soaking off of my face or whether it's too dry. So after 4 hours I usually know whether I like or don't like a foundation. So I will check in with you later, but first let me finish off my face and I will give you my verdict. And by the way, I have a lot left, so depending whether I like it or not, I will keep it. I mean, if it works well, I will probably continue to use it, but if it's not, then that's too bad, because there is a lot of foundation. Like, I can probably get like 20 wears out of this. Okay, by the way, right now it looks pretty dewy, which I'm surprised by because I did add a lot of matte foundations, especially the Urban Decay one. That one is so dry, but this is definitely a dewy look, and it is pretty full coverage. I mean, I don't know why this didn't really hide, but I feel like after I apply blush and all that, it will be okay. But one thing I am noticing is my pores look huge. And I use the Porefessional, which usually it should hide it pretty well. So I feel like because this foundation is so thick, and I'm telling you, it looks like I have a huge layer on my face, and it kind of makes me look a little bit old too. So that's one thing I'm not really loving about this combo. But let's see once I apply my makeup how it's going to look. Not loving this look, but let's see with the setting powder if it's gonna make it look a little bit better. I mean, on camera I wish I had my face the way it's on the camera, because you can't really see all the imperfections because in this mirror it's pretty intense. I'm going to use this Cover FX translucent powder, and it's the shade Light, and also I use a wet beauty blender. And I started doing this after watching James Charles videos because he always uses a wet one, and I never knew you're supposed to use a wet one, and it actually makes a huge difference. It makes it look less powdery and you just get more flawless look. I can't talk today. Okay, let's see. Final moment of truth, because if this doesn't help this foundation, then I think we have our verdict and it's not going to be a good one. Always bring it down to my nose, around my mouth, here and here. So I will do the same thing so there's no cheating. Let that bake a little bit. I'm gonna finish off my makeup off camera, and then I will show you the finished look and my verdict, and then also later on I will show you my thoughts after wearing it for about 4 hours. So I applied the rest of my makeup, including like blush, contour, all of that. I went pretty natural, and that's because I wanted to really see how the foundation looks, and I didn't want any distractions. So even for the setting spray, I just used the Urban Decay one because I didn't want to use my regular Tatcha one because that one is very dewy, and I wanted just to see what the foundation looks like without kind of like fixing anything, if that makes sense. And my final verdict for the foundation is that it is definitely full coverage, and that's probably because most of my foundations are pretty like medium to full coverage, and it is pretty thick, and that I'm not too thrilled about. I think it's probably the Kat Von D one, the Lock-It foundation, and I think the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. Those ones were really thick. And even though I use just like a really small amount, I feel like that's where all of the thickness comes from, and I can definitely really see my pores, which I'm not thrilled about. You don't want those to be showing. And I mean, I even used a primer to minimize my pores and still it's showing, and that usually happens to my skin when I use a really thick and I would say long-lasting foundation, especially with the Urban Decay one. With that one, my pores show a lot, so that's why I don't really use it anymore. And usually with really dewy foundations, I have like nicer skin, and I feel like with these thick foundations, you can just see more texture on the skin. Overall, this is something I could wear again, but it would definitely be something I would be wearing if I'm going out or, you know, nighttime kind of makeup. This is definitely not an everyday kind of look because it is very thick. The only thing is, I see like here it kind of is really thick and almost like it cracks, so it kind of gives me like wrinkles a little bit, and that's why lately I've been using really dewy foundations, because I feel like with these thick foundations I'm starting to get wrinkles, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. So I'm just checking in. It's been about 4 hours since I applied this foundation, and I must say it has not moved up a bit around here. But usually all of my foundations kind of crease there, but I mean under the eyes, everywhere else, everything still looks the same. So I must say this has actually been a pretty good challenge, and I feel like I actually like the foundation at the end. I definitely wouldn't wear this foundation every single day, but I'm calling it a foundation like it's just one. But it's definitely a good foundation. I mean, it like I have not gotten greasy, and I was running around a little bit doing some errands, and usually I would get a little bit more oily here, but there's literally no oil. It's completely dry, so I mean this would be a great foundation to wear on like a night out in the town. So I'm gonna give it thumbs up. It's definitely a yes for me. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and leave me some comments down below and let me know if there's any other challenges you want me to try, or if you've tried this challenge yourself and whether you like the result or not. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!